So we're speaking with Watch the Vote 2012 right now, and we have Kelly, author of The Hidden Fourth Branch, on the line. We also have Jim and Edward. Now I understand we're going to go ahead and let Jim take the floor and speak about Watch the Vote 2012.
Okay, yeah, my name is Jim Conda Jr., and we basically are trying to educate people on how the crisis we have in trying to get honest elections in the country. Now, Paco, your summary of the problem with the media I thought was very good. I was listening since about 10:20 on the line here. And The media is their main power. That is the main power. If we took over the media, you might say, broadly speaking, Ron Paul supporters, then things would change within a few days to a few weeks to a few months. And what you have now is Romney, and that's the first thing to understand, though, is the publicity is like picking up Romney and Santorum and Obama and carrying them like the media is their vehicle. At the same time, they're subtly and not so subtly pummeling Ron Paul and trying to make him look like he's maybe a nice guy but has no chance whatsoever. This has been done on all 5 networks. Now, the other thing people got to know about the media, though, is that they are essential in the warping of the vote. And I don't know how much I'm going to summarize really quickly, and then you can either ask me other questions or then go to the other guests, because I don't know how much time we have. But every primary, that is a primary where people are going to vote, you go into a polling booth and vote as opposed to a caucus, is counted on secret computer counts, with the exception of 20% of New Hampshire, basically. So Ohio, Florida, all the primaries, Illinois, California to come, New York to come, all the primaries you hear about are completely counted in the dark. The Republican and Democratic Party at the top have convinced their county leaders. We've got 3,141 counties in the United States. The county leaders have hired basically one of 4 companies, Diebold, ES&S, Sequoia, and Hart. And these companies are given a contract to count the vote in secret. So you vote on Election Day, or you vote in November, you put your little ballot in like an ATM safe type of a thing. The screen says your vote has been counted, and then it's no citizens, no politicians, no media is allowed to see the ballots, and then we get the announcement. It's on total faith. Now, in the caucuses, like Iowa, Idaho, you at least have a thing where people come together, and if you have people witnessing there, you can actually see what happens. So the Iowa caucus actually has a good system where you can see what happens if you have people watching and they know what they're watching for. The problem in places like Iowa is that the Republican Party of Iowa, for instance, has a long history of warping the vote. The people at the local level do their job, but then they change it at the state level, and this is where Edward True, who's on the line, came in. He came forth and was on CNN's blog begging somebody for help because they had falsified the count in his little caucus, which was 1 out of 1,700 caucuses. And we hooked up with him at Watch the Vote. He did an affidavit. We got it out there. He sent it to Des Moines. And the upshot was it changed the result of the Iowa caucus. It changed it from Romney to Santorum. And I personally feel that had we had witnesses in all 1,700 caucuses like Edward True, Ron Paul would have done much better, or maybe even won. Now, not everybody, and I can't prove that, and not everyone agrees with me on that. Even
he would have won.
Even Ron Paul supporters. But the point is, one man standing up, Edward True, and with Watch the Vote and others coming to his aid, changed the result of the Iowa caucus. First time ever that happened, and the Republican Party had to back down. So the goal here is to change all elections to where the paper ballots are counted at each precinct with citizens from that precinct watching. And then that's how you would be able to know what was happening.
The exact vote.
And so but that's the whole goal of Watch the Vote, is to change it from the secret counts that are in the primary and the November elections, protected by the media. I call it the vote fraud crime syndicate. You got the 5 TV networks, which all own a group. They own a corporation called used to be called Voter News Services. Now it's called National Election Pool. and they actually tabulate the votes on election night and announce those results. They do the media publishes phony polls when they need to warp public opinion in advance.
Yep.
They then publish phony exit polls, and then they publish phony computer results when they need to on election night, and nobody challenges this except for a few organizations like ours.
Yeah, something is up when they got 1% of the voting in and they're telling you who the winner is. I mean,
yeah.
What kind of sense does that make?
Yeah, we could talk about this for 2 hours, but and this is where Kelly's book, The Hidden Fourth Branch, comes in, because we could educate citizens all across the country to ask for grand juries when there is secret vote counts. I mean, this is stealing if you want to steal the city, the state, the nation, and the world, then you do so by warping the vote. And for the listeners, there's a HBO movie out called Hacking Democracy. It's about a 90-minute movie. Get that and watch it. It stars Bev Harris of Black Box Voting. There's a book called Vote Scam: The Stealing of America by James and Ken Collier, who both have unfortunately passed away of cancer in the 90s, but that's Vote Scam: The Stealing of America. And our website is votefraud.org. That gives you a lot of information. Or watchthevote2012.com details a lot of the stuff that happened in trying to get a fair vote in this primary. So I hope that gives you a little bit of a background. And then Edward True is an example for all Americans, one man in one place who's willing to stand up and take it to the limit. His doing that actually sparked the changing of the winner, quote unquote, in the Iowa caucus, the first time that ever happened.
You know, it's amazing that Kelly was telling me Edward was coming on, because I remember that. I remember hearing that on the news about somebody pointing out that the numbers were being reported wrong, and obviously I believed it because I didn't believe the numbers they came out with anyways. But I remember thinking to myself, like, wow, that wasn't supposed to happen. That's not what the media wanted to report. But I didn't know the whole story, but I just knew in the back of my mind there was something that happened that's good, but I know in their mind it wasn't supposed to happen. Now, do we want to give him the chance to tell his testimony?
Yes.
All right, Edward, you there with us?
Yes.
Hey, man, I appreciate everything you're doing for the movement and what you already done, man. You're a true patriot. So I want to give you the floor and let you tell your story and what exactly went down.
Okay, I'll summarize it pretty quick. It was honestly my first time ever going and voting, being involved in the process. And I would say I even caught what I did. I would throw it out as more of dumb luck. I remembered seeing posts in a couple of the groups, the Ron Paul groups that I was in, about taking pictures and watching the vote and everything, and I kind of seen it in passing. But while I was there and we got done voting, I was asked to be one of the people to count the votes. So I helped count the votes and everything. And when we got done, I thought of it.
Did they know you were a Ron Paul supporter, though? When they asked you to count the votes, did they know at that point that you were a Ron Paul supporter?
Yeah, I got up and spoke about Ron Paul.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right, go ahead.
But when they got done and everything, I wrote it down. Just I was thinking, I kind of spaced off a little bit when I was reading it, because it was probably 20 minutes before I went up there when I even seen the stuff about it. And I wrote them down, and I was like, well, I'll go ahead and post these in my Facebook group, just so I can see how he does against everybody else. Well, then the next morning, after I had already done everything, I said,
hold your thought, Edward. Hold your thought, Edward. We're going to go to a break, and then when we get back, I'll let you finish up. Okay? All right, one moment.
Get him in range. The world deserves.
You are now listening to the Ron Paul Radio Network. Radio for the revolution.
Okay, we're back, and you're listening to Occupy the Media. Here with my guests, Watch the Vote 2012. We have Jim, Edward, and Kelly on the line. I'm going to give it back to Ed. And I just want to let you guys know, if we don't finish up, because we're going to go to the rest of the show with this interview, if for some reason there's more stuff you want to talk about, any one of you guys or all of you guys are more than welcome to come back on Thursday or Friday, and I want you to get all the information you need to get out there. So go ahead, Edward. You can continue with where you left off.
Okay. Well, like I was saying, I went there my first time and had been asked to count the votes. Well, after we got done counting them, I just grabbed a piece of, I guess it'd be manila envelope that I had because I took some of the